welcome to the first installment of the California Employment News. My name is Lukas, Clary. I'm here with my partner, Meagan Bainbridge. We are both shareholders in Weintraub Tobin's Labor and Employment Practice Group, and we're going to be talking to you about employment law developments. Meagan, do you want to share a little bit more about what we're doing here?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. As Lukas indicated, this is the inaugural installment of the California Employment News, a new offering from the Weintraub Tobin Employment Team aimed to keep all employers across the state up to date on the newest legal developments in the employment world. So that means whether it's a review of the newest cases coming out of the courts, it's an analysis of the regulations coming out of the legislature, or just reminders about overall best practices. The aim of this new series is to keep employers out of the court system. So Lukas, we're now about 2 months into 2022. So I don't think it's too late for employers to make sure their current employment practices comply with the current state and federal laws, and even your county or city if there are, specific regulations that attach to those. Is there anything you recommend employers do at the start of each new year?
Thanks, Meagan. Yes, and it's never too late. It's becoming increasingly urgent the more time we let get away in the year, but it's always a good time at the beginning of the year to review your employment practices. And the best place to start there is an employee handbook, unless you don't have one, in which case the best place to start is to create one. But if you have an employee handbook, it's always good to review it around the beginning of the year. And the reason I recommend that is because handbooks become stale over time. Things change, new laws come about, your business changes maybe in size and location, and all of this can impact what employment laws apply to the workforce and your business. So the first of the year is always a good time to begin looking at that, because that's typically when laws tend to take effect. So a good thing you can do there is review not just your employee handbook, but any standalone policies you have that impact your workforce. So if you have written policies that are not in your handbook, but that otherwise impact your employees, you'll want to take a look at those as well. In addition to reviewing your handbooks and your policies, Meagan, what else would you recommend employers do early in the year, such as now?
I'm a big advocate for reviewing job descriptions, even on a yearly basis. Sometimes I think that seems like, it might be repetitive or too much, but, job duties change frequently. And it's really important to make sure that your job descriptions are accurate and up to date for so many reasons. They can be important in analyzing an employee's exempt status to determine whether someone's truly exempt or whether they may be more likely a non-exempt employee. Job descriptions are also crucial when you're deciding whether or not an employee can be reasonably accommodated in the workplace, whether or not a certain job function is a essential job function versus just something that is, more of a side job duty that they might have. Job descriptions can also be really important evidence in litigation. Should you find yourself there, it's often used by defense attorneys as a defense in your fighting either a disability discrimination case or wrongful termination case, something along those lines. And so it's really, really important for a variety of reasons that you have up-to-date job descriptions, that they're accurate. And one of the, I think, best ways to do that is to ask your employees, give them a copy of the job description, say, hey, is this accurate? Can you let me know if there's anything on this list that you're not doing? Have them give you percentages, have them go through the job duties and say, I spend this percentage of my time doing this versus this. And so you can get an idea of what they're doing with the bulk amount of their time. It's going to help you ensure that the job descriptions are accurate and that your employees are actually doing what you think that they're doing and what you want them to be doing. So job descriptions, I'm a big advocate for looking at those yearly. Anything else, Lukas, that you can think of?
Yes, thanks, Meagan. I think in addition to policies and job descriptions, which I completely agree is a very important one, another great thing to check around this time of year is to review your payroll practices. When you issue an employee a paycheck, it needs to be accompanied by a wage statement, and there's very specific requirements in the labor code about what needs to be on there. And we're going to talk in an upcoming video about some of the impacts of getting that wrong and technical violations that can result in huge class action lawsuits that really impact employers. So it's important to review those wage statements to make sure you have everything on there that you need to be. Other practices include making sure that you are keeping accurate records and informing employees of, for example, the amount of sick leave they have available. And especially now in current times when you may have seen there's specific laws related to COVID sick leave, and that also needs to be communicated to employees at the time they receive their wage statements. You need to make sure you are timely paying employees, and that you are paying them overtime, providing meal breaks. So reviewing time and pay records around this time of year is a good opportunity to make sure you get in compliance with those areas as well. So I think those are the key things that we wanted to hit today, to make sure you're taking this time at the beginning, early in the year, to review your handbook and policies, to review your job descriptions and your payroll practices.
So thanks so much for joining us on this inaugural episode of the California Employment News. We're excited to be able to share some of our best practices with you and keep you updated on legal developments as they come. You continue to find us by subscribing to our YouTube channel or on our blog at the lnelawblog.com. We'll see you next time.